Once that was done, I left the humans behind and made my way back home. Westhold was one of the border towns. It wasn't gated and pristine like the bigger cities, but it did have a wall with an electric fence that sometimes worked, and a few dedicated guards. Not enough to stop any of the truly motivated fiends, but enough to keep out most minor irritations. I made my way out of the business district and toward the seedier part of town, but not quite into the outskirts. My sanctuary was an old cannery that had been abandoned after the rift. I let myself in with my keys and a hastily muttered word to release the wards, then jogged up 3 flights of metal stairs. The place might be dingy and the security mediocre, but at least I had my own space, and I didn't have to deal with a landlord who would sell me out to people who'd murder a mixed-breed cur like me in their sleep for a few coins. Locking myself inside my apartment loft, I activated the wards to keep any minor magical threat out. Those things had cost a pretty penny, but they were worth it. I wondered what humans had done for security back before the rift breach. How had the weaklings lived without magic? I shucked my torn, bloody clothes into the washer before stepping into the shower. They probably lived just fine, I reminded myself, since they didn't have murderous fiends from another dimension trying to eat their faces. Thomas Vega and his team were world-renowned for their scientific work and their brilliant theories around quantum physics. Until they opened up a rift that let monsters the human media had labeled fiends overrun the world. Now the scientists were considered war criminals, even if they had managed to close the rift back up. The damage was already done, and the panicked human populace needed someone to blame. The fiends were like nothing Earth had ever seen. Hundreds of varieties of terrifying creatures fueled by energy that could only be called magic. They bred like rabbits, and they interbred with Earth species, making nasty crosses called curs or mongrels that were usually even worse than their monster parents. Large portions of the globe had been destroyed before the rift was sealed, and guilds of licensed hunters formed, managed by the local government in order to protect civilians. Some curs, like me, weren't bloodthirsty monsters, but that was a rarity, and the human population wasn't inclined to be too accepting of them, since most humans had family who'd been devoured by the original horde of monsters. I stepped into the scalding shower and washed away the blood, hissing as the water hit a few raw spots and scrapes. I'd heal faster than a human, but it still hurt. Running my hands through my blue-streaked black hair, I soaped up. I glanced at myself in the mirror as I was drying off. My angular cut hair bumped about my jaw. I should get it cut. But I was just stupid enough to admit I liked it long. My hair was the one physical feature I actually liked. Pulling on underwear and a tight sports bra, I tugged on some jeans and a long-sleeved t-shirt with a boat neck that wouldn't rub the healing scrapes that tracked across my shoulder, just shy of my neck. The fiend had almost slit my throat with its damned lizard claws. I glanced around my sad, empty apartment, then pulled out a bottle of cheap vodka from the cabinet. I needed booze, and lots of it.